Hi everybody, welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to be talking about not having an attitude.
Right.
Right. Another work story. I swear all this content is from we can write a book. We can write a book, the job that we're at. Okay. So I had a interesting encounter at work. You guys know again that I work in a hotel. Not fancy schmancy, but it's a hotel. But I had these ladies come in. There was a whole lot of attitude.
Right.
Whole lot of attitude, and it's just it annoyed me because this happened before now. So I'm going to mention the reason why I'm even talking about this is because these ladies were sorority women, black women in black sorority. I'm not going to name which sorority they were in. They all had their outfit, I guess their what do you call it? I don't say uniforms. I don't know what you guys call it. We weren't in
Their
sororities.
colors.
Okay, So, okay. And they had the most uppity attitude I think that I have ever seen. From anyone ever. These are three black women. And what annoys me is that I feel like fraternities and sororities, the point to me is I'm sure they have their own, obviously their own private stuff that they do. But for the outside, we're supposed to be looking at them as like
An example.
Yeah, like an example
of
black excellence. And to have speak well and speak right, be respectful. That's what I think when I think about, and we have friends. I think pretty much all of my friends are in some type of sorority. All my friends from school or just people I know, pretty much all of them are from some type of sorority in some way, shape, or form. And I just don't understand where the attitude's coming from. I'm really trying to figure this out. Where is the attitude coming from? Why do you feel that I'm in a customer service situation that I think it's kind of what it is to me, is that they're kind of looking down on me because I'm in a customer service, but I take my job very seriously. I want everyone to have a good experience at the hotel I'm at. I'll always make sure I smile on my face, even as rude as these women were, as horrible. And there was other people in line that were just like disgusted with these women, right? I still try to, maintain a certain, professionalism. But they were just the most vile people I think of. I just don't understand what it is. And I want to say that I think that with my people, with black people, we have this chip on. Not everyone. I know I'm not trying to generalize, but this is my experience. But it's like we have a chip on our shoulder.
Yeah.
Like black men and women, but women have a bit of a chip on their shoulder, it seems like. Do you notice? I mean, I feel like am I the only one noticing this? But I'm always encountering them.
Yeah. I mean, I think, okay, so I can think about this in two ways because I am one of those people who have a standing bitch face.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm not a mean person, and most people when they almost everyone who meets me likes me. You know what I mean? It's just that I'm not a smiley person,
right?
By nature, I've always tried to be someone who smiles like you all the time. Very sunny. But I do think my personality is just more dry and a little bit more. I'm just not that. I'm not that kind of a person.
Right, but you're not an asshole.
But I'm not an asshole.
You're very respectful.
You know what I mean?
To people,
So I'm very respectful to people. So I also, think there's those two things because I think the other part of your question is why do we always have to look like we have this chip on our shoulder? We're not always nice. Yeah. And I do think again, like our like what we were talking about about music, about sometimes like I said, I think that black people at times we build a fence around ourselves, and part of it is being the cool person.
Yeah,
we don't feel like we can ever be nice because we feel like if we're being nice, then there's some part of us that is not cool or not because a lot of people like to be hard.
Yeah,
that's a look. Look at all the hip hop music. All the rappers look the same. They're all wearing big clothes, and they're all got these mean mug like Ice Cube. It's mean mug face. They got an attitude. They're always talking about real shit.
And it's like cool. What I mean? That's like when
Chance.
That's like when Chance the Rapper came out. He was smiling all the time. People thought he was just the corniest person in the world.
Yeah,
because he's smiling all the time, but he's rapping about some real stuff in Chicago. Right. So it's like there's this thing where we feel we have to maintain this level of like attitude, and I don't have that attitude. Like you meet me, most people, some of y'all know me personally. Like I don't have that attitude. Like I don't look down on anyone. Yeah, I have been at different levels in work, you know, where I've been a boss. You know what I mean, and I've mopped floors. You know what I mean? I've done all of that, you know what I mean? Yeah. And currently, you know, but I still, no matter where I'm at, I'm always the same. And when I'm just encountering people just in general, I never treat anybody that like they're lower than me. But even before they even got to their room, like they were already, you know what I mean? Like I could already just see the attitude. Like the attitude was already there when they just getting out of their car. I could see them. And I'm just thinking, oh boy. You know what I mean? Like, oh boy, you know, and they were just just ridiculous. And I'm like, why are we doing this? Like black women, okay, not all black women. Again, I am not trying to generalize. I do know we are excellent women. We have great women, you know what I mean? And I would have to say pretty much to me, I think it would be majority, but there's this groups of these women who just have this terrible chip on their shoulder and they just feel they can look down on people. And I also think that, you know, like I'm hoping that it's not because you think you have an education. Well, that's another thing, that's you know, that don't let your education fool you. I mean, you can still be a jerk. Don't be a jerk.
I never went to college, and I don't want to go. You know what I mean? And if I went, I would never be a part of sorority because I don't like cliques like that. I like to be free, and I feel like a lot of times, like no offense, but I feel like a lot of times, even religion on some level can make everyone think the same and be the same. And I think that is a big problem in this world, that people aren't individuals. And I think little cliques like that make people sort of a part of something, and then they feel like they have to hold up the image of what that is. That's the reason why I don't like groups like that. You know, I prefer to have my own identity.
I've talked to some sorority women who have that, who actually have sorority women I know that actually do have that feeling of they don't feel like they can be individual. They don't really talk about it because obviously you can't. They always talk to non-sorority people like me about this stuff because what
I could say is that we said at the beginning of this is that we look at sorority and fraternity people as examples of black excellence, I do. And they may feel that way too. That it may put them on a pedestal of sovereignty, or like you're like some kind of queen. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where it makes you feel like you can treat people however you want.
I'm different
because I went to school, and because I'm wearing a jacket color, and because I'm a part of this group. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so it could be that if they're all acting like that and they're not family, then that means that it's some sort of behavior that they've kind of bounced off each other. Right. You know what I mean? So I do think that. I mean, I went out on, beyond sororities and fraternities because everybody's not like that. But like I went out on a date once with a guy, and we went out to breakfast, and he's a really nice guy. He's a very successful man. But when the lady, this is how you know, like this is how it is. He's older too. He's a little older than me. And when the lady behind the register, she said, "Good morning. How are you doing today?" And he said nothing to her, and he threw his credit card on the counter. Yeah. And I just took a mental note of that because I don't like that. Yeah. I don't like when people treat other people that way, because I said hello to her. Yeah. I said, "Hi, how are you doing?" She said, "I'm fine." And then, she was a white lady. Yeah. And I just kind of feel like, we have this thing where we don't feel, and he's older. So we have this thing where we don't feel like we can be happy people. Yeah. Like we have to be difficult. We have to be difficult. Hard. We have to be hard, and we have to not be ourselves. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like if you're from the hood. Yeah. If you're from the hood, you feel like you always have to have this attitude. Yeah. Because you're from the hood. Yeah. So you know that everybody that is looking at you is acting the same way. So you don't want, even if you're happy. Yeah. You're probably not going to act like that.
To me, I just felt like we have to do better. Like we have got to do better. Black women already get the stigma and the stereotype of angry black woman. Do we not get that? We get this all the time. Oh, as soon as a black woman says something she's just speaking up for herself. Oh, she's angry. She's angry. It doesn't help when you have people being angry for absolutely no reason at all. Right? We already have that on us. And it's like, I feel like, and I'm black too. So I'm like, why are you looking at me like that? Why are you acting like that?
Sometimes stereotypes are true.
It's true. That's true.
What I mean? Let's just keep it real. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't want to, they don't want to. Not to say that white women can't be.
No, that's not.
Because I've had. Believe me, there's some white women.
That's a whole nother show.
That's a whole nother show. But since we are talking about ourselves and we're talking about, sometimes stereotypes,
call yourself out,
can't be true. You know what I mean? Like I said before, I have a standing bitch face. I'm one of those women that I'm just not a smiley girl, but I'm not a mean person. You know what I mean? If you say good morning to me, I'm going to say it back to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But so on that end, I can understand. If that's just a personality thing, but. If someone, there are times, like you will say a lot of times, it's just regular, like you'll just see regular, like everyday black women walk, because you work at the front desk.
Yeah,
and you'll say hello to any black woman.
Any black woman.
Past, and they just look at you like it's a foreign, like you just spoke to them in Chinese. Like, what
did
you just say?
People too, like black men too, do the same thing. Like I'll say good morning or hello, how are you doing? Good evening, how are you doing? They look at me like they don't know what to say. Like no one's ever said good morning, good evening, good night. No, they just don't know what to say. And I'm like, hi. How are you doing? Walk right past me. Don't say nothing. And it's like they look at me, but they I've had a couple of people just literally not know what to say, like not being. I don't even think they think they're being mean. They just didn't know what to say. I'm like, what you say when someone says hello to you, what you say back is hello. I mean, like this is not groundbreaking stuff here. I mean, so I just, it concerned me though. These ladies concern me for a whole nother reason, but just in general, they made me think about the women, the black women that I encounter on a daily basis. I work with the public.
Right.
I'm at the front desk. So I work with the public and I see them all the time. And I will say there are some very lovely, wonderful, black people out there that know how to be greeted and greet back. They have manners. But I will say, man, the majority, I hate saying that I have encountered in this space, you know what I mean? Or just in any retail, when I work in retail, just anywhere I've been, it's like they have attitudes, and I'm like, why are we so mad? Like why do we feel? I mean, I get. I mean,
even like when you see like the step shows that they do, they have that same look on their face.
Well, it's the
you know what I mean? It's just like, I'm just saying, I'm not trying to pick on them or anything, but you can see where, because whenever I look at those step shows, I always look at their faces. Not at their bodies. I look at their faces, and they have that angry black woman look on their face. And it's not to say that they
call it, they think it's passion,
but I don't think it is. But that's just me. You know what I mean?
I'm playing devil's advocate. They're saying that they're being passionate with whatever they're doing.
Even Beyonce on this level, she makes the same face, the same sort of uppity, like. She don't look like the nicest girl all the time. She's famous and she's lucky for that. Right. But if she was just a regular woman, think about it, how she looks normally. If she was just a regular woman walking down the street, you would think she wasn't that nice. Yeah. You know what I mean? But again, like I said, I also have a face like that where I'm like I don't look like the nicest, person in the world, but I am. So I don't want to judge people on, but the reason why I was saying about the step shows is because it could be just the image. Of trying, because if they look like that in the step shows and they kind of act like that when you meet them, it could be just an image that. This is what happens though when you have groups. It's like the same when you go to church. You know, if everyone's Catholic people act different than like Methodist people and Baptist people. You know what I mean? And it's just because they're around a group, and so everybody's acting the same. So everyone begins to act alike. Yeah. Now, the same with you is like you work in customer service, you work with people, but they probably do too. They probably work with other people, and they probably don't act like that when they're trying to get their money. Yeah. They were professional. Angry black woman, you think that's cute when you're on the street, but it's not cute when you're trying to get your money. Yeah. Well, many years ago, I told you this, many years ago in New York, I had a manager, and he's not black or white. He's Asian. And he said to me once, as I was talking to him, I worked for DKNY, and he said to me, you know what, Kara? And he said, you don't remind me of a lot of black women. You're nice. And before I told him, you got to be careful about that, because this is discrimination. If someone else heard that, and I could be mildly offended by that because I am black. And I did tell him all black women are not the same. But it just goes to show you though that because he worked in a building that was predominantly black, of all different walks of black, Dominican black, American black, Caribbean black. You know what I mean? He had a theme that they were all the same. They all had this like nasty sort of tough attitude that he just didn't like being around, and he was shocked at it when he met me. And I didn't like that comment, but I do know that a lot of people that aren't black think that about black women,
right?
Including black men.
Yeah,
black men think that about black women.
You know, I got asked out. I got asked out on a date a couple years ago. This black man, he was asking me out, and he said, it was like a little mini like interview. It seemed like when he was talking to me, but he said, "Oh, you know, what college did you go to?" Well, you know, that was like a thing, and I said, "Oh, you know, I didn't go." I said, "I chose not to go to college. That's just a choice. I'm glad I didn't make. I've never wanted to go to college. It's never my thing." But I said, "Oh, I didn't go to college," and he was just like, "What?" And then he says, you know, he said, "Well, you're well spoken, so that's shocking that you know that." I said, "Well, my mother taught me manners, you know what I mean? So I know how to speak to people properly, you know what I mean? And not, I know how to speak." He said, "So how am I supposed to sound? What am I supposed to do if you don't have education, you know, a higher education, put it that way, if you have higher education, then I'm just out of the running at this point," which is fine. Look, if I'm not part of that, that's not part of his, if that's part of his list, you know, if he has a list and that just, he wants a college educated woman, then I get that. You know, it wasn't a date or nothing. It was just he's asking me out. But I'm like, you know, you should really open up and broaden your horizons. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we also have to.
And
stop,
he asked me. Look, he asked me. He said, well, "You're right. So you want to go out?" I said, "No."
But I mean, we also have to stop. We also have to stop thinking common sense and courtesy is college talk.
Yes,
you know what I mean? That. Because those girls were acting ghetto.
Yeah, right.
And they have full educations.
Y'all heard.
You know what I mean?
Look,
so
I don't know if
I
don't want to repeat the way they were. It was just.
You know what I mean? And they have full education. So just because you go to college does not mean you have common sense, and it doesn't mean that you're really smart. And by that I mean street smart, being around regular people smart. You know, being around people who aren't like you smart. Yeah. Because it's another thing. This is why we talk about things like music and stuff like that. This is why it's good to branch out of your comfort zone. Now we came from a family that was biracial. My grandmother is white, and my grandfather was black, and my mother's biracial, and I didn't know my father, so I don't know that side of my family. I only know the side of my family that's mixed with black and white and mixed. You know what I mean? And so I think that in a way that kind of helped me as a black woman, because I can realize that my grandmother, who I was so close to, and she passed away, was the love of my life really growing up. You know, it's on my mom and my sister. She was the love of she was a white woman. You know what I mean? And she was kind of ghetto. And my grandfather, my grandfather, who was, you know, black, and he was the classy man.
That's so funny. You know what I mean? That's so funny. I'm trying to think about that because he's a very very classy.
My grandfather
man.
Always kind of reminded me of a Duke Ellington
he's very
or
classy.
a Nat King Cole.
That's
how class. That's what I mean by class. He smelled real good,
Yeah.
and he was just a very suspenders.
And he had a very calm demeanor, but he was really just very like impeccably dressed and very classy. Now, my
grandmother though was a white woman, but she was ghetto. But I loved her very, very much. But she was really ghetto, and I think that we have to stop boxing people in, and we got to see people for who they were, because those girls were ghetto. I don't care how much. I don't care how many sorority jackets you want to wear and what college you go to, and you can go to Harvard. If you have a ghetto attitude, you know, you have a ghetto attitude. Now, with saying that, it does not mean that someone who's ghetto isn't nice and won't give you their last dollar and won't help you out. You know what I mean? We got to stop making things a thing.
You just believe in respecting people. I believe in respecting yourself. I don't care how high up in college you went to, you know what I mean? I'm someone who chose not to go to college. I still believe that it's okay to go to college. I think it's great. If that's what you want to do, wonderful. But please don't get it twisted. Just because you have a higher education does not mean you can look down on people.
I've never felt
that life will humble you. Let me tell you, life will humble you.
College to me has never. I've never had the feeling though that college people were better than me.
No, I
actually never felt like I was better than them or any less than them. I always felt like college is a decision. It's all it is. It's a decision. Go to school. If you want to go to school and you needed to go to school for some reason, maybe to figure out what you want to do in life, maybe to meet new friends, maybe to get maybe the career you're going into, you have to have college. I understand that, you know what I mean? But I take everybody, and I think this is why I can do this sometimes. It's because I'm not group oriented. You know, I feel the same way sometimes about motorcycle clubs. Is they're the same way. It's because they're all one-minded sometimes. You know what I mean? And it's not It's not bad. It's just something that happens when you don't branch outside yourself.
Well, because they see, a lot of times they see these groups and stuff, see it as a sisterhood or a brotherhood. Actually, I think they actually just believe that they're sisters and brothers, and I think the camaraderie with that, I think that's great. Like I don't have a problem with that part, but I feel like when you step outside your sisterhood or your brotherhood or whatever it is, I do think that you guys are not the only people on earth.
Right. So when people in general try to act better, I look at that as a way of weakness anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if you need a group to make you feel like somebody, then you're really nobody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because until you can stand on your own anyway, I don't care who you are and what group you belong to, until you can stand on your own and stand in your own truth and stand in your own fears and all of that, then you're weak.
You should already feel like somebody, and then if you want to join this group,
I feel the same way about when people get married. If you can't be happy single, then a man is not going to make you feel any better about yourself.
You need to already be happy.
You got to understand that these people are going into college young, and you're very impressionable when you're in your 18, 19, and 21. You don't know who you are when you're in your 20s.
Right.
So the one thing that you try to do when you're in your 20s to find, even when I was in my 20s, so you try to find, you try to fit in, you try to find, you try to be accepted somewhere. And these groups are really good at making you feel accepted, especially through your 4 years in school, because you automatically have friendships.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you have friendships beyond school. Yeah. So it's like once you all graduate, you guys all have that in common, and they have, they have reunions and the, meetups every year and all of that, and if you like that, that's, to each your own, that's your thing, but that has nothing to do with your attitude. And if it does have something to do, it says something about the sorority, right? Teaching people to be like that. Yeah. But it could be that you just encountered three bitches. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But another part of it is that,
but on the other hand,
it just so happened that I keep on, like, once again, I'm always looking at I'm hoping the Black excellence part comes out. You know what I mean? I'm always, whenever I encounter a sorority or a fraternity member, but it's like, and some of them are completely
people
lovely.
change. When people get money, they change.
And these individuals just could be, like you said, it could just be three rude women.
But you did say that you
fraternity, sorority, or not.
But even when people get money, they change. It makes them, they feel better. They feel like they're better than someone. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because they've now come out of the dark. They feel. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. If you need something outside of you to feel important or to feel validated, then you've already lost, because you will always be leaning on that for support, and maybe on some level, because like I said, those girls and guys, they meet these people when they're young, 18, when they're more impressionable, that they kind of make them feel like, well, we're always going to be here for you. Yeah. So it can make you feel like you're never going to have to be alone. Yeah. Now,
like I was saying in the beginning of this video, I'm purposely not mentioning the sorority, because honestly, I just don't, to me, I feel like that's just rude to mention what sorority it is, but what was interesting to me is that when I have encountered this behavior, has been from this particular one. I have talked to other people that have come in that have been from other sororities, and they're completely lovely. Right. But there's a particular one, whenever I have a problem, it's usually with this one. And I'm like, what is going on here? How can that be? These people come from all walks of life. They're not from Indianapolis, most of them, but just coming in here from other states. You know what I mean? They're not even coming. I'm like, why is that? Why? What is happening there? I just really, like, if you are in a sorority and you're watching this, I just really check yourself. You know what I mean? And please know, if you're somebody, because I know not all of them are like this. I do know that. I'm not, I don't mean to generalize in that way, but sometimes you just got to look at yourself. You know what I mean? And see that, oh, wait a minute. Am I acting outside of myself for a minute there? Because sometimes you do. Sometimes you get so high up on the horse, you know what I mean, that you don't even notice that you have changed. You know what I mean? A bit. You've changed them in some way, and you're maybe treating people not well, and you don't even notice it because you're just so engulfed in achievements and success and money, and I got my girls and this, you know what I mean? Like, I've got these jackets with this, whatever on it, so it's like, don't get so engulfed in that, because I'm telling you right now, if you're someone who lives on your high horse like that, life will humble you one day, and you will be sitting there with your jacket and bad attitude still, and just alone. So I don't know, just to me, I just feel like you have to just check yourself, I think. Because these ladies, and they weren't just, they could be having a bad day. There could be a number of reasons why they're acting like that. I don't know. But they were just vile, which led me to believe. I mean, I'm 42 years old, so I think I read people pretty well at this point. You know what I mean? it leads me to believe that they're just how they are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's trouble. That's problematic. It's troublesome, and it's kind of heartbreaking because they look like me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to treat someone who looks like you, anybody like that, is wrong. But to be so, you know what I mean? Like that's not what's up. I don't like that at all. You know, you're not different than me. You're not better than me. You took a different road than me, and that's fine. But you're not better than me, and I still respect it. I still do the same thing at all the time. Remain professional, and then still respect people because that's how I was raised. My mother raised me to be respectful, so I am.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not sure how their mothers raised them or their fathers raised them, but if they, you know what I mean? So,
you know, sometimes people do think that though. Sometimes people feel like they get a little money, a little education, and now they have to change. They have to change. Like I have to be some part of, I have to act a certain way because I'm a part of something that's considered, I guess, big. Yeah. You know what I mean? Me, I mean, I guess to me, I feel like I'm always going to be myself. So whether I have a lot of money or I don't, I'll never treat anybody any different. Because
what you see is what you get with me, with us, right. Really. You're the second one.
Right. Yeah. But, I mean, again, certainly don't want to attack, you know, sororities because I know that I'm sure they do, you know, good things for Black people,
they actually
Black community.
Do. Yeah. They actually do.
But I will say this is the reason why. That's what I was trying to say. This is another reason why I don't really like groups of things because I kind of feel like sometimes groups can make you act a certain way. You start bouncing off each other's energy and acting like a jerk because one person could have all three of them having a bad day. It's kind of kind of like.
Well, you know, now I'm sitting there thinking. Now when I'm thinking about it, there was one of them who actually there was like a ringleader. One of the women. I could tell was like the ringleader, and then the other two women just kind of followed her lead when she was being rude. So then they all were being rude, but they weren't. It seemed like the other two, you know what I mean, were not gonna be mean, but it was like the one that was a ringleader, and they followed her. And I'm like, I don't think they wanted to be like that, you know what I mean? But she's ringleader. Right. She's not even paying for the room. She's just a ringleader.
Probably they all wouldn't act like that if they, you know, it's like a bachelor party. Yeah. Most of those men would treat women, you know, respectful if it was just one of them. Yeah. But because there's a lot of them there, they're all bouncing off each other's energy and they feel like they have to be a certain way because everybody else is being that way. Right. You know, peer pressure goes into our adulthood. If we're not secure enough within ourselves, will allow people around us still to make us feel like we need to act a certain way even if we don't want to. So it could have been that you encountered one bitch and two other nice girls who just thought,
I'll follow the crowd.
Follow
sheep.
her. You know
don't be a sheep. That's another thing.
We got a reputation to uphold. You know what I mean? That sort of thing.
Please don't be a sheep. Because look, you know, you're going to be a sheep. You know what I mean? Just kind of follow what was one bad apple's doing. It's just one bad apple can ruin the entire bunch. It really can. And so I don't know. Be individual, even if you're in a sorority, in a group.
But it's very hard to be.
Find your individuality somewhere in there. You have to be able to find something. If you're able to do that, this is where I would get very skeptical about those groups and stuff.
Well,
not
I mean,
just fraternities.
Kanye West, I think he did say it right. He said we have freedom of speech. We don't have freedom of thought. And you can be in your groups. But if you're not a strong person, I would really oppose anybody being in any group until you can be strong on your own. Yeah, I say I say the same thing about marriage. Don't get married if you're not a strong single person.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you're strong on your own, the group you'll be working with it, and it's not just taking over who you are.
It's like when you are strong in yourself, you can really do anything and be in groups. Yeah. You can be Baptist, you can be a Republican, possible. You can be a Democrat, you can be a sorority, you can be in a fraternity, you can be in a motorcycle club, you can be in a country club. You can do anything as long as you can stand within yourself and truth and be yourself. You know, and if you can't be yourself, you will be this. Yeah. Yeah. You will be, you'll be someone who's a follower. Yeah. And, you know, on some level, being in groups, it requires you to be a follower. Yeah.
It's like, use the group what it's for. You know, maybe it's for sisterhood, brotherhood, religion, whatever it is. Use it what it's for, but don't let it change the essence of who you are. You know what I mean? Like, use it to better yourself and all that. But I think that people use it to feel like a different person, and I'm like, that you're not different.
Yeah, Black excellence is being an excellent Black person.
Yeah,
and that can be that can be whether you go to school and whether you were just a really hard worker and you really know how to grind and you really make something of yourself. Yep, you know what I mean.
All to the way you treat
lot
people.
Of Black people that I know that are successful never even went to school.
Yeah, yeah, I think almost,
you know what I mean. Never even went to a lot of millionaires don't even go to school. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it just depends on the individual. If you can be if you can be a part of something and still be yourself, then you should be a part of something.
Mm-hmm.
But if you need it to make you feel like something, then you should not be it at all.
Yep.
Until you can find yourself.
Agreed.
And that's just my 2 cents.
It's just that one hit me differently because I'm like, man, it had to be us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it had to be us. And now everyone's watching these ladies act like this. Now I'm embarrassed because they're my people, and this is not how we all are. These women are not how we all are.
Right.
Okay.
But then there's
so
also
the nasty attitude is not.
Right.
I have no nasty attitude.
But not
you know
all
what I mean?
the women from that sorority are like that either.
No, I'm saying that's my point.
Right. You just got 3
yeah.
of them. So it's just like, but it's just like, it's one of those things. I guess like I've seen white people come up and act like complete assholes, and the white person behind is like, it makes me so mad.
Yeah,
and they're embarrassed. You know, I've seen people from India, you know,
and get embarrassed
when their people.
That's kind of what happened with me, is that I just got embarrassed because it's my people, and I'm like, we're not all like this. We're not. I mean, I'm sure the vast majority of people probably in that sorority are not like that. You know what I mean? And are not like that at all. But they are not representing. You know what I mean? They're not representing well. So that's it, you guys. Run out of time here, so we are going to head out. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, Lord,
comment, give blood,
and
put our tattoo on you.
We're on Instagram now. We have Instagram too. So go on all to our social medias and check them out. Follow it, subscribe to it, and like it.
My eyelash is coming off.
Okay, so I'm gonna put a couple of videos somewhere over here for you guys to watch. Boom, right there, somewhere right there. Okay, be a previous video, a random video, whatever. Check them out, and I hope everybody has a good day.
We're about to eat some spinach dip.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.